Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Alex Dworkin, and I'm a managing partner at 40 Capital. We specialize in a very unique approach to the stock market analysis where we calculate the market and individual stocks in three-dimensional space. And when we do, we believe perfect order emerges. And using those calculations, we can essentially determine not only what the stock is going to do going forward, but also when it's going to happen. And we can do it on multiple time frames, whether it's long term or short term, and for the most stocks out there. I personally believe our work is nearly identical to what Jim Simmons was able to accomplish at Renaissance Technologies, if you are familiar with Jim and Renaissance. Now, I can talk about this for weeks, if not months. What I'm going to do is I'll include a link to the description of our work where you can see our calculations, you can see proof, you can actually use some of the tools that we use in order to calculate and confirm it for yourself. So I will include that in the description of the video, and I do highly encourage you to check it out. There's also going to be a video describing our analytical approach and how we are able to use the software that we've developed for the last couple of years in order to identify stocks that will 1x, 2x, 5x, 10x over the next couple of years. So we've been very successful in doing that, and you can get all of that information there. And uh, it's we're not done yet. There's yet another offer. No, I'm just kidding. There's also going to be a free trial offer to our service, and you can check it out as well. So another day, another individual stock analysis. Today we're going to be looking at Pepsi, PEP, and we just issued trading parameters for this particular opportunity or for this particular stock, and it is on our radar, and we are very interested in doing something in the stock going forward. And I'll explain here in a second. So what you're looking at here, if I'm once again, I'm going to assume you're not familiar with our work. You're looking at a number of timing parameters that we use. So the triangles you see at the top and the bottom of the chart are what we call cycle composites. They're very similar to Hurst cycles, if you're familiar with that, but we use them in a very different fashion. So we use multiples of them, both for the tops and the bottoms. And typically, what we found in our research is that the bottom composites identify the bottoms, or responsible for the bottoms, I should say, and top composites are responsible for the tops. But if you know how to work them together and put them together, once again, there are multiples of them. But if you can do it perfectly, you can essentially end up with something that looks like the actual chart that we see on a two-dimensional time and price chart. The line you see on the chart here represent cycle clusters, and I'm not sure why it's only showing one. I left it on from yesterday, but okay, there's only one. But basically, it's yet another timing parameter that we use. And what we do is we scan the chart back, however long it goes, or however far back it goes. And we have a number of proprietary cycles that we've developed over the years, and we have the software identify those cycles, where they work, where they don't, and then project them into the future. And where we see the cycle in the future is typically where the time turning point occurs. And there's another very important factor that we've determined over the years is that when we have multiple cycles arriving at any given time, those turning points are much more prominent, meaning that if there's a singular cycle arriving, for example, here, the time turning point is not going to be as significant, or perhaps there's going to be no turning point at all, as opposed to when there's, let's say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cycles, particularly if they are powerful cycles, long-term cycles arriving at any given juncture, we can rest assured that we're going to have a turning point, whether it's the top or a bottom at that juncture. So what we see here essentially is we see a mid-cycle bottom for Pepsi. Right here, the software identifies it as September 6th, 2025, and we actually have the cycle or cycle cluster here as well. It is also around the same date, September 1st. Now, there's a certain margin of error associated with these longer term cycles. let's say plus or minus 1 month. But this cycle cluster allows us to pinpoint the location with much greater certainty. So basically, what this analysis or what this chart is telling us is that we're going to have a bottom very soon if we haven't had it already. And once the bottom is in, then the stock is going to increase into this major cycle top. And basically, it's going to run up quite significantly from the bottom to the top. Hence, our interest in the stock. So the question becomes, well, where's the bottom? And how far is it going to go? And I'll try to answer those questions for you with by looking at this chart. So as I mentioned, we analyze the market in three-dimensional space. We calculate it when we do perfect order emerges. And once you understand how to put it together, I described that process in a video that is linked at the description of this analysis. You can put it together very well with the timing parameters in order to identify the exact bottom. So the regions you see here are the regions where the stock should bottom. So let me zoom in here for a second. And for some reason it's not working because as always I'm recording a video. Oh no, it's working. Although it's working slow. So let me pull up this chart a little bit here. So the regions that you see on the screen in front of you are all the possibilities of where the stock can bottom. And as you can see, just last month, Pepsi bottom in exact location of this anticipated bottom that we have. It's not working very well, but so the conclusion we can come with, particularly if we consider the margin of error associated with the time variable, that longer cycle composite, is that perhaps the stock has bottomed. But we do have a very important time turning point associated with the stock arriving in early September, so we have to take that into consideration. And another factor is you see this particular level. Let me click on it. Oh, it's already clicked. Which is a little bit lower than the prior low, located at $118 a share. There's also real possibility. But from a trading perspective and why we are so very interested in this stock, this works very well for us because we have the convergence of time and price at a singular location with a very small margin of error associated with the stock. So for example, if it breaks below this level, then we know with certainty that it's going to this green level. And if it breaks below this level, then we know with certainty that our forecast is failing, at least for the time being, and we can exit the stock with very minimal losses. But for our purposes, we can put a very tight target in both time and price at this location, for example. And if we break this below this level, then we know with certainty that we're heading there. And considering the rest of our forecast, we know that's where the bottom is going to be. So we can come in exactly at the bottom and take position and ride it much higher. So I'm having a little bit of a problem with my computer. It's not working as fast as it should, and this takes a lot of analytical or processing power to calculate all of the things. But let me just tell you, and you're going to have to trust me on this, that once the bottom is in, the stock's going to run up to at least $250 a share, but much higher targets are possible by that time that upper turning point arrives. So that's the nuts and bolts of the analysis for Pepsi. Once again, we are positioning ourselves and our partners for taking a long position in the stock. We do have a free trial, as I mentioned earlier, associated with our service where this targeting is available. So if you would be interested in taking a look at that, I do encourage you to do so. There's no strings attached, no credit card, none of that stuff. So absolutely free for 30 days, and you can take a look at our other analysis. You can look at the targeting for this particular stock, and yeah, decide for yourself if that is something that is of interest for you. I think that's it for today. We're going to be back with another stock tomorrow. It's probably going to be one of our fast movers, and I'll talk about how we identify those fast movers as well tomorrow. I think that's it. Thank you very much for your time. Have a wonderful day ahead, and we'll be back with another update tomorrow. Bye bye.